Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another Flesh and Blood Team League stream. I am your host, Adam Philipchuk, and we are coming in partway right after the beginning of a match here. West Coast Best Coast's Colin Honigman taking on SEAL Team Lotus's Joshua Kehe. And right off the bat here, we can see Colin on the left in blue, Joshua on the right in red. It looks like Joshua had the first turn here, and now on chain and Colin on Viserai. Colin is now, or no, actually, I believe, and my apologies here, we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, hence why we are coming in partway through the game ready of starting. This Mordred Tide was actually from Arsenal, I believe, so I believe Colin actually had the first turn here. So Joshua, Colin playing with the Mordred Tide into a Mob Skies, adding an extra rune chant each time he makes a rune chant this turn, into a Spellblade Strike. So this is coming in for 4, go again, making 4 rune chants on the back end, 2 off the Spellblade Strike, 2 off Viserai, and threatening to make another 4, or no, this is a blue Mob Skies, threatening to make another 2 on hit. So we see Joshua electing to block this. And we're going to follow that up with a spell, or that Amplify the Arknight. This is coming in for an additional 4 rune chance, 6 physical. And I imagine Joshua's going to be happy to take this one. Yeah, down to 34. And it looks like Colin's trying to play a tempo game here. We see Colin's on, this is the last week of having access to Scalata and some of the older cards that have just been banned. So Colin on Vex and Quillhand, and yeah, likely looking to play a tempo game here, have control of the game, and it looks like Joshua on his turn, Shackle 1, banishes the red Riftbind, and then just passes it back to Colin. So now we're back on Colin's turn. Colin playing on the 4-card hand. And it looks like possibly even Joshua forgot to Soul Shackle here. Still sitting at Soul Shackle 1. Oh, looks like he just noticed that himself, hovering over it. And Colin thinking about what his follow-up turn looks like here. Colin thinking long and hard about his turn here. Looks like we're going to go with the Become. What are we going to be searching for here is the question. Sitting on 2 rune chants, probably not going to grab the Sonata here. I'm wondering if maybe a red Read the Runes. Joshua's still on early shackles, so you can afford to take the hit here if you decide to take the turn off and just make the rune chance. And it looks like we have a decision here. Grabbing a runic wreck. Oh, and I guess, yeah, if I'd paid a little closer attention here, I would have noticed he discarded an Oath of the Arknight, so he's only able to go look for an attack action. So Runic Wreck coming in for 2 arcane, 7 physical, threatening to destroy Joshua's Soul Shackle on hit here. Looks like Joshua is going to resolve the arcane and is going to throw the husk at the physical. And we're going to see Colin Arsenal, pass his turn Arsenal, and yeah, we're going to go to the start of Joshua's turn here. Joshua on Shackle 1 still. Hitting a Ghostly Visit for a second banish. So 2 attack actions in the banish now. We're going to see an Art of War here, banishing a Bounding Demigod to draw 2 and choosing +1. Looks like we're going to Shackle to 2, play the Ghostly Visit. This is going to be 5 with Go again. An important note here too, West Coast Best Coast has locked up this series, going 3-0 in the first 3 games, but the players still playing for tiebreakers here. Going into next week's going to be the playoff week of the team league. So with first place likely being locked up by Blue Pitch, and they're likely going to just see the automatic relegation up to Div 1. But second and third place still up in the air. And I know both West Coast Best Coast and CL Team Lotus have their eyes on locking up that second place spot. West Coast Best Coast certainly in a not bad position to do it. But these wins are important to help achieve that. Colin thinking about his block here. I imagine not so much thinking about what he blocks with, but trying to figure out what his turn looks like. And it looks like we're just going to take this 5 down to 33. And we're going to Creepers here. Into the Shadow Puppetry. So getting a second action point. And we're going to Rosetta. This is going to be 2 and 2 with a pseudo Go again. And Colin at this point knows there's Gonna be a bit more to the turn still. Trying to decide whether he still wants to hold on to his hand. Currently facing down 2 and 2, 2 physical, 2 arcane. Go again. Or with an extra action point. Shadow Puppetry will give his next attack go again as well. And it looks like Colin's going to take the 4 here, or 2 at least. Thinking about throwing a piece of equipment at this. No, we're going to take the other 2 as well. Go down to 29. So Joshua has dealt Arcane this turn. Spellbound Creepers are safe. They will be sticking around for another turn. We're going to see another Ghostly Visit. This one's going to be 6. Go again. On hit, allowing Joshua to look at the top card of his deck and possibly banish it. And if there's one that Colin might block this turn, I think this one's going to be it. Wanting to prevent giving, mind you, Joshua is near the end of his turn. An extra banish here probably won't give him as much gas as it would otherwise. But we're going to see Colin block this for 6. And with that go again off the Shadow Puppetry, we're going to see the bounding into the Riftbind. Looks like it. Bounding. Color bounding is this? That's a yellow bounding. So this is 4 with go again. Or, no, this won't have go again. So that'll be the end of Joshua's turn. Joshua will pass with an arsenal here. He does still have the Riftbind and Banish. Looks like, oh, no arsenal. So Joshua must not have something he wanted to arsenal. Must have had a card that he's worried about getting stuck with if he, or something he'd rather pitch or have in hand. So we're passing over to Colin's turn here. Colin's got 2 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal. He's going to start off with a Become the Arcanite from arsenal. Discarding a non-attack action, so we're going to go get an attack action. And we're going to grab the Swarming Gloom Veil. So that's going to come to hand. So Colin playing out that Swarming Gloom Veil. This is going to come in for 3 physical, 1 arcane. Makes 1 arcane or 1 rune chant on the back end. We'll have go again. And it looks like Josh was happy to block this for 3. And I wonder, are we gonna? Nope, we're just gonna see an arsenal here from Colin. And a pass back to Joshua. So Joshua going into shackle 2. 2 misses. Does still have 3 cards in hand in the Riftbind and in Banish. Trying to figure out what his turn looks like. We're going to see a Sting of Sorcery here, followed by a Shackle into the Riftbind. So this is going to be 4 in an Arcane with Go again. Floating 1, able to swing the sword after this. And we're going to see Scalata. Scalata and Skullcap. So Colin possibly sitting on the hand he's looking for here. He doesn't have many rune chants up. He's only sitting at 1 rune chant currently, but the fact that he's so quick to throw equipment to this tells me that maybe he's got the hand he's looking for. We're going to see, it looks like he's going to take the Arcane and the Physical, go down to 20. Oh, we're going to see Creeper's activation? No, Creepers are going to survive because Arcane was dealt. Now we're going into Colin's turn. Colin's got the 5-card hand here, and if this is where Colin is going to pop off, I think it is possible that this is going to be where Colin really tries to go off, considering he used Scalata last turn. He's likely, or blocked with Scalata last turn. He's likely looking to use Scalata to fuel his turn here. We're going to see the turn start off with a Rattle Bones. Pitch in a blue to pay the cost. Blue Dread Triptych. Imagine we're going to banish the Swarming here. Yep, there we see the Swarming. And we're going to follow, we're checking out the arsenal here. We're going to follow up the Rattle Bones with Colin thinking about his next move here. Thinking about the Quill Hands. Quill Hand would remove Colin's Arcane Barrier 1 from the game, but would give him 2 extra rune chants here. Joshua is still at 27, so lots of life to push through still. So we're going to see the swarming get played. This is going to be 3 physical, 1 rune chant. It will have go again, thanks to the rune chant made on the back end. And it looks like we're going to resolve the arcane. Joshua's going to go down to 26. Still 3 physical to be dealt with. And I think we're still sitting on the defense step here, Joshua trying to figure out what his block's going to look like. Joshua checking out his graveyard, seeing what he's got left in the deck. And we're going to see a Howl get thrown at this. Interesting. Taking 1. Colin thinking about his follow-up. And with the Howl being thrown here, I wonder if Joshua's got an Unhallowed Rites somewhere to get that Howl back in deck. We're going to see Combat Chain get closed to activate Quill Hand, make 2 rune chants. Then we're going to play a Revel. We're going to make 5 more, go up to 8. And here we are. We're going to see the Scalata now. Into Sonata. Ooh, here we go. So at 8 rune chants, X going to be 4. Going to be looking at 7 cards. Players just double checking things quickly, doing the math. So 1 in non-attack, 2 non-attacks, 3 non-attacks, 1 attack, 4 non-attacks. Oh, still some hope. Ooh, we're going to get lucky here. That's probably about as good of a split as you can ask for. Mind you, I think we likely would have liked to have seen a blue here. But still some potential for the turn. 3 Arcane coming at Joshua now. I'm not certain what's going on here. Joshua should be taking 3 down to, unless he's already taken the 3 and I missed it. Colin's still sitting with 3 cards, well, 2 cards in hand now, playing the meet and greet. Okay, so Joshua must have taken 3 that I missed, because he's now down to 14 off the 8 rune chance. And there's the Unhallowed Rites we were wondering about. So Colin, we do know, has the meet and greet and the E-Strike in hand still. We don't know what's in his arsenal. 1 resource floating. Still 14 life to punch through. The 8 rune chance certainly helping to get through some of that life, though. And Colin trying to figure out what his next move is now. We're going to play out that meet and greet. So this is going to be another 4-1 go again, making 1 rune chant on the back end. Wouldn't it be nutty if Colin had another Revel in Arsenal or something like that? Now it's Joshua's turn to go into the tank a little bit, figure out if he wants to block this. The hit will generate another rune chant for Colin. Yeah, and we see Joshua's going to take this, go down to 9. And we're going to see the meet and greet followed up with a sword for a total of 6. 2, 2, and 2. We are going to see Joshua throw creepers at this. Joshua going down to 4. Colin's still sitting at 20. So I think in this turn, Joshua's really needing to hit some good banishes. And we've got 2 red bounding demigons. Gorg Tome, I think you'd rather see in hand, of course, but still some hope for Joshua here. We're going to see a shadow puppetry into the bounding demigon. This is going to be coming. Is this a red bounding demigon? It is. This is going to be coming in for 5 go again. And we're just, oh, did we forget to shuffle after the Sonata? It looks like it. Yeah, Colin must have looked at his hand and thought, wait a minute, I recognize these cards. Bounding Demigod currently threatening 5 with the on-hit trigger of the Shadow Puppetry, where if it hits, Joshua can look at the top card of his deck and banish it if he so chooses. I imagine Colin at this point wants to hold on to his hand at almost all costs. With Joshua at 4, Colin just needs one good turn to put this game away. But does Colin have the turn he needs? And we see Colin is going to go to 15. Joshua's going to trigger the Shadow Puppetry, look at the top card of his deck, and he's going to leave it on top, it looks like. So that's a good omen for Colin. We see Shackled to 4, followed by the second Bounding Demigod. This is going to be 3 with Go again, or yeah, 4 with Go again, my apologies. Yeah, that's a red Bounding, base cost of 3, played from Banish, so it gets +1. And it looks like Colin was happy to take this down to 11. Joshua's going to follow that up with the sword. Taking Colin down to 7. 1 blood debt for Joshua off the husk. We're going to go into Colin's turn here. Colin's still on a 5-card hand. Joshua now at 3. And I very much think this is Colin's game to win right now. Colin just needs a good, strong turn here, and he should have it. Question is, does Colin have the turn he needs? Are we finally going to get to see what's been in that arsenal for the past couple turns here? Colin, thinking long and hard about his turn here, wants to make sure he does not misstep here. So we're going to see a yellow Mobs, guys, to start the turn off. Into a Rattlebones. Pitching the 9th blade. I imagine we're going to go get a Swarming here. This also makes a Rune Chant. Colin must not have a attack action in his hand that he could play. We're going to see the Swarming come in for 4 and 1. Go again. Threatening to make 2 Rune Chants on hit. And we're going to see a block for 5. Taking the Rune Chant down to 2. Ooh, and another Swarming. 4-1, go again. This time the on-hit clause is active. So we're going to see a pitch to the Arcane. And Arcane can't be prevented for the turn now. That's going to be game, I think, here. A little bit of finger wagging going on. But I believe that's going to be game. Yeah, and we see the players cleaning it up here. So there we have it, folks. That concludes the West Coast Best Coast SEAL Team Lotus series, and that concludes also the Swiss portion of, no, I shouldn't say Swiss, the round robin portion of Team League. West Coast Best Coast taking the series 4-1. And that should put them in a decent. We're gonna have to wait to see how the tiebreakers play out here. We still have to see where Galaxy Gaming and SEAL Team Lotus end up with their tiebreakers. But this puts West Coast Best Coast in a pretty good position to grab second place now. And if they can, in fact, do that, in a good position to get relegated to Div 1 if they can pull out the win next week. However, competition is going to be stiff no matter who West Coast Best Coast ends up playing. We've seen lots of great games throughout this season so far, and it's still, I think, anybody, like, for the finalist season or the playoff rounds, it's still anybody's game at this point. Yeah, but we'll as we get the dates and times for the playoff rounds next week, we will make all those available to you throughout our Twitter at the Combat Chain. Until then, though, that's going to conclude this edition of Flesh and Blood Team League stream. From the Combat Chain, I'm Adam Philipchuk. Thanks for watching, and we're closing the Combat Chain.